This video is to tell you what the collaborative project is for the Draw Studio. Every studio has a section where you will participate in a collaborative project. That means working together to make a piece of art. So because Character Day is coming up soon, and Character Day is when you come dressed as someone that inspires you, that has good character, has done something inspiring or great for themselves or the world, we are going to be making large pictures of artists who have amazing character. So the drama band and dance teacher and I all came together to think of one artist that represents our concept of change. An artist who has changed not everything, but really changed the art form for their art form. So Mr. Riley chose Louis Armstrong. All right, he was a major player in creating the jazz movement and even starting civil rights movement and like one of the precursors to the civil rights in the 1960s. I chose Frida Kahlo, Mexican surrealist artist who really pushed boundaries and especially for women. Mr. C talked about Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is the director and writer and performer of Hamilton, and he really changed the way things were cast, changed how we looked at historical musicals. So he's another person. And for dance, Mr. Arnales talked about Isadora Duncan, who threw off her corset, said, "I'm not going to do ballet anymore. I want to do a free dance called modern dance." So these are 4 characters that we are going to create larger pieces out of. And we're going to do it using the grid method since we've already learned about the grid method. So what you can do, if you're ready for this, you can come choose a one artist that you would like to do. And if there's another artist that you are really interested in, and you can bring me a printed photograph of them, then you can use that. Otherwise, you should use one of these, and you are going to create a grid across the artist. One thing to know about this ruler is that, just so you know, this ruler goes from 0 to 6 here, 0 to 6 here, and then on the other side, it goes from 1 to 12, just so you know. But you would use this to create your grid. All right, I recommend just using the width of the ruler. Put your ruler down. Make sure that you hold the ruler with one hand and you draw the line with the other. You are going to use the width of the ruler to create a grid across the photograph. All right, all the way across this way, and then make a grid horizontally. After you've done that, I'm not going to do the whole thing because you've already learned about the grid method. You can number your boxes, or you can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across the top and do letters down the side. Because the next thing you have to do is go get a large sheet of white paper. And this white paper is located right there. And it has a little white piece of paper on it. So when you open up the shelf, you can get one of these large sheets of white paper. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to make another grid on the white paper with the same number of boxes that you have on your photograph. Except this grid is going to be a lot larger. So you're going to need to get one of the yardsticks from me, and you are going to create another grid on the large piece of paper. I would recommend maybe using, I would say maybe 2-inch increments. You have to kind of count out the number of boxes and the number of boxes you need to have here. Figure out how many inches your square needs to be, and then make a grid. So that way, the grids that we make don't have to be the same size. You can use a grid to enlarge a photograph, to make it larger. So when I'm looking at square 1 here on Isadora Duncan, I'm drawing square 2. Now this, I'm drawing on the larger square on my big piece of paper. Now, this can be a collaborative project. You can work with someone else, and in fact, I might assign someone else to you to help you create this character for Character Day. So that is what you need to do in order to fulfill the collaborate section on the Draw Studio.